Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
On a 78-degree night in the foothills of Ahwatukee, South Phoenix, we are live from Desert Vista High School, the home of the Thunder. Desert Vista taking on the Corona del Sol Aztecs, a 6A matchup on tap for you tonight. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Paul Schultz along with Aaron Decker. And Aaron, two teams in very similar situations as we get set to go tonight. When you look at the records, when you look at the matchups that these teams have had in the past and kind of the similar playoff hunt situations they're in, very easy to compare the two.
Absolutely. Both teams are 2-6 heading into this game, and as we near the end of the regular season, we do start looking at the playoffs. If the playoffs did end right now in the 6A conference, it would be Corona just in there at the 14th spot and Desert Vista out of it at the 19th spot. So this is an important game for both teams to try and edge their way into that playoff conversation.
And how exactly is this Corona del Sol team preparing? How have they been working week after week in practice to get there? To that, let's check in with head coach Jake Barrow. We spoke to him before the game, and so let's hear his thoughts on this week's matchup.
Hi, I'm Aaron Decker with Varsity Sports, and I'm here with Corona del Sol Aztecs head coach of the football team, Jake Barrow. Coach, what were some of the key points you wanted to focus on this week in practice?
Yeah, just being efficient with the football was a big part of it. We got to get our offense going earlier. Last week we were able to get things going in the second half. Defense played really well. We got to put it all together this week.
So this game does have a sense of importance. You talked about last week about getting wins for that playoff spot. What's your message to the team, not only about this game, but what the overall meaning for what it can do for the rest of the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. When you're in a position we're in now, you're already in a playoff kind of mindset, right? It's kind of win or go home, so to speak. So we got to keep winning this week, and then if after this week, we'll take a look at next week, and then hopefully get another win there, and then see yourselves in the playoffs. So it's kind of the same mindset as if you were already in the playoffs. You got to win in order to continue.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much. I'm Aaron Decker with Varsity Sports.
Once again, that was the head coach of the Corona del Sol Aztecs, Jake Barrow, talking to Aaron before the game. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the opening kickoff here from Desert Vista High School.
When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2Tons.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, Arizona sports fans. I'm Lofton Lechner, and I couldn't be happier to be joining the varsity sports team as a technical director for fall 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Lofton Lechner to stay locked in for the season.
Hi Varsity sports fans, this is Shai Gara. Make sure you stay tuned for our halftime where we break down different highlights from sports locally or otherwise, so plenty of entertainment and content coming your way if you stick around with us. What I personally think is cool about our halftime show is we cover different sports, maybe some you might not expect, and a variety of different content, of course, high school football, and maybe some professional stuff such as NFL highlights from the previous week.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
Welcome back, everyone, to Desert Vista High School. The Thunder won the coin toss, elected to defer their choice at the second half, so the Corona del Sol Aztecs will receive in the north end zone as we get ready to begin this ball game. And the opening kick is out, and we are underway. It's caught around the 15-yard line or so and brought down. The Corona receiver is inside the 25.
That was a nice little running catch from Jai Jones just to get them started. You know, before we head into this first play, this is an interesting game for Desert Vista, who hasn't won a game yet at home during this regular season.
Not much of a home field advantage for them, or at least they haven't been able to capitalize on that this season. Nonetheless, here is Connor Ackerley and the Aztecs offense for the first drive of the game. Jai Jones in motion. He gets the handoff up the right side, stays on his feet, breaking a tackle as he's brought down around the 35. We've seen that jet sweep play from Jones a couple times this season, and with mixed results, I would say.
Yeah, and you know, I think that one thing that the Aztecs are going to look for is to try and get that defense off balance and try and speed up the play a little bit.
They'll give him a gain of 5 on that 2nd and 5 from the 35. Ackerley in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to throw, steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle, caught by Jones near the first down sticks, but brought down, I believe, just short.
Yeah, it looks like it might just be a little bit short. They haven't granted him the first down, but
it appears the chains will move. Yeah. They'll give him the first down after a little bit of hesitation.
Suspense, you know,
just a tad.
Dramatic suspense.
And so Ackerley standing in the shotgun again. Takes the snap, and it's a handoff to Nick Mestaccia, who dives forward past the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 2 yards. His first carry of the night.
You know, I think that's going to be really important for the Aztecs to get going as their run game. We haven't really seen that run game, when it's not Connor Ackerley at least, been successful or really be a big part of this offense. So if they can get that going, that's a huge win for the Aztecs.
Ackerley this time takes the snap, looks to throw, steps up and heaves one deep downfield. The pass is caught by Zuri Glenn around the 20-yard line.
And that pass where he threw the ball to was where Glenn was going. It wasn't where Glenn was at that moment. That was a pinpoint pass, and that was Camden Nolan on the Desert Vista defense, who really just seemed to let Glenn get right past him.
So a very large pass play there sets Corona del Sol up in good field position. This time a quick pass out to Raiden Vinesbright, who breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Aztecs.
Impressive touchdown score from Vinesbright. We've seen every week him be able to score on the deep pass as well on plays like that where he's able to get the ball, use his agility to get around defenders like that. There had to have been 4 defenders around him that he was able to get around and for the touchdown.
Aaron, I think that's one of the quickest touchdown scores I've seen all season by the Aztecs. And they are really using that momentum on offense. A couple big plays or one big pass play really to set up that touchdown, and they've got 6 on the board.
It really felt like they went faster on that drive than other drives in the past.
Here's Luke Hawley setting up for the extra point attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. A short one, but it makes it through the uprights, and just like that, the Aztecs lead it 7-0. A quick break, and we'll return. Aztecs 7, Thunder 0.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
Point lead, and we still have 10 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. That Ackerley and Vinesbright combo is so strong for this team. Both teams lead the 6A conference in their respective positions, wide receiver and quarterback, obviously.
A big return here from Desert Vista as the kickoff is taken back to the 40-yard line.
That's going to be equally huge for the Aztecs. That was obviously the special teams team on the field at that time for the Aztecs, but it's going to be so huge for this defense to be able to support their offense. And if their offense goes down the field and score, don't give points back up. We've seen that a few times this year where the Aztecs offense will get on a strong start, and then that defense will kind of let other teams get back in it.
They had a very respectable defensive performance last week, a 28-21 loss to Brophy, who is a very highly touted team here in the Phoenix area. A handoff this time up the middle, past the 50-yard line. I think that's enough for a first down for Desert Vista.
Yeah, and the run game for the Thunder have been really, really good so far. Running back Kyler Junaski, 317 yards and 4 touchdowns is kind of where their offense has gone through so far this season.
Their quarterback, Zachary W. Brown, lines up under center for this snap. Brown takes the snap, and a handoff again up the middle, and brought down inside the 40. Once again, Kyler Junaski.
Yeah, Junaski, a sophomore, 5'10", 165 pounds. He's been a huge part for the Desert Vista offense and being able to get downfield and score.
First and 10 from the 39. As Brown takes the snap, it's mishandled a little bit, and he'll have to keep it himself. He's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a little miscommunication there on that play.
That's going to be a big thing that Desert Vista needs to look out for. They go into this game having 6 offensive fumbles, 3 of them coming from their quarterback, Zach W. Brown. So that's going to be a huge thing that they have to look out for.
And an official timeout on the field as we have a injured player down. But we've seen the Thunder, with as strong as their running attack has been so far, kind of exposing some of the problems that we've seen with the defensive front of the Aztecs, in that they're perhaps undersized compared to other units, but really they've been able to step it up in the secondary. They've done a pretty nice job in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking at, areas in which the Aztecs defense can improve, it's definitely going to be on that defensive line. It's not a team that's gotten a lot of sacks. They've only have 2 so far in the season. And then when you're looking at how successful other teams are with their run game, that defensive line has struggled so far this season. And so I think going into this game, when you're playing a player like Jernaski, it's how do we just slow him down? Because we haven't been able to slow down running backs that much this season. How do we just stop them a little bit more than what they usually are able to do?
So after the brief timeout, it'll be 2nd and 10 on the 38 for Desert Vista. Brown motions the running back to his side and motions a man across the line, and a handoff again. This time sniffed out immediately by the defensive line. They're starting to catch on a little bit.
Yes, and that's exactly what you want to see is even when a team starts doing something successful, how fast can you adjust to it? Some great teams aren't necessarily the best at stopping something, but they adjust very quickly.
So they'll say he was brought down at the line of scrimmage. It brings up 3rd and 10 as the clock now under 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Brown this time will line up in the shotgun with 2 receivers to the top and 1 to the bottom of the screen. Running back motioning again. This time the backfield empties. Brown fires over the middle. It's caught almost. It's kind of bobbled, it was, by the receiver, and it falls incomplete.
And the Aztecs got away with one there because that receiver was open and they had a lot of field that they could have run down for a score. I think that would have been a touchdown for them. So the Aztecs defense walk off the field getting very lucky on that.
Logan Arnson, the intended receiver, a tight end, a senior, standing at 5'11" for Desert Vista. But with that incomplete pass, it's 4th and 10, and they're going to punt it away. Cambrell Walker is back deep for Corona del Sol. A high spiraling punt touches down inside the 10, takes a roll in favor of Desert Vista, and it'll be down at the 5-yard line.
Last week we saw the Aztecs offense get put on their own goal line a lot, and so they're going to be in that situation. Not as bad as we saw last week, but it is a challenge that we didn't really see them go down the field a lot. It was hard for them to be able to go down completely all the way down the field when they were this far back. So I'm sure that was a key point for head coach Jake Barrow in being able to make sure that they can sustain drives when their back is up against the wall on their own goal line.
Well, you'd have to imagine that based on this spread formation, they are going to try to throw it and get upfield or create some space for themselves as quickly as they can. This time, Ackerley will hand it off to Quentin Bradley. His first carry of the night gets tripped up and falls around the 15-yard line.
And Quentin Bradley's been kind of a player that, last week we saw him get used in the run game more, and I think they've started to mix their run game a lot.
So Bradley gets 8 on that one. It'll be 2nd and 2 with 2 receivers to each side of the line of scrimmage. Bradley gets the handoff again, breaks a couple tackles before he's brought down at the 24, and he gets the first down and more.
Mustachia and Bradley are going to be 2 different running backs that we're going to see on this Aztecs offense. Bradley's going to be that kind of quick, agile, left-right running back, while Mustachia is going to be that hand it off to him and let him bulldoze down the middle.
Aztecs lining up again, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top, and Crew Swearingen motions across to the left side. Ackerley looks to throw, feels the pressure, rolls out left, and fires at the sideline. It's caught by Zuri Glenn as he goes out of bounds around the 38, and that is where they'll spot it.
Just short of the first down as we head in. It's going to be 2nd and 1 as they head into this next play, and they've done just a good job so far of using that run game and finding the quick pass for Ackerley to connect with and get some yards after catch.
Raiden finds Bright at the top of the screen. Jai Jones underneath him. Bradley gets the handoff again. He tries to break a couple of defenders before being met by the swarm. They'll say his forward progress was stopped at the 35-yard line.
Initial hit. Test.
And they say move the chains. He got the first down.
Yeah, the Thunder, even though that was a first down, the Thunder did a great job of just being able to follow Bradley down in that motion he was doing toward when he got the ball and just track him down and stop him.
A slight motion from Raiden Vinesbright. Ackerley fires for Crew Swearingen. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. What an athletic play by Crew Swearingen as he sort of fell towards the sideline. He was able to haul it in and give the Aztecs a first down.
Just a nice little out route there from Swearingen. It looks like the Aztecs are going no huddle here.
Keep the tempo high now, under 6 minutes with the clock stopped in the first quarter. And a handoff to Quentin Bradley. He makes a couple moves and gets maybe 3 yards on that carry.
Last week we saw Ackerley looking downfield a lot and just not being able to find a receiver to throw to. And so far it looks like a good sign that he's finding open receivers, that he can let go of that ball a little bit faster instead of having to risk his pocket collapsing.
Well, and to complement that, he has a little more time in the pocket this week. Brophy had a very strong defensive front that Desert Vista has not created as much pressure. Ackerley will keep it himself. This time he dives towards the first down marker. A flag flies in after the play. The first penalty of the night.
You know, if this stands, that's going to be a huge third factor if this offense can keep the QB run, the regular run game going, and the receivers as well. That's a huge third factor for them.
Back on white 3. During the run, illegal block in the back. Number 3 on Corona, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
And so Ackerley's run negated by the block in the back. Charge to number 3, Raiden Vinesbright. So they'll run back the 2nd and 8, or actually 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Aztecs, and you know those penalties are what have hurt them a lot this season, is just pushing them back and getting them in these long 2nd and 3rd downs.
This time a handoff up the middle. Diving forward is Quentin Bradley.
And so far this game, we've seen the wide receivers, the quarterback, the running back work well, and that's going to put the Desert Vista defense in a tough spot here. What do you point what do you point at? What do you go for? Do you try to stop the run here or the passing?
Try a hard count. Connor Ackerley trying to get the defense to jump off sides. They'll now reset with the play clock under 10 seconds. Takes the snap in the shotgun, looks to throw, dancing in the pocket, rolls left, and takes off with it as a flag comes in from the left sideline.
Yeah, and that flag came a little bit before that hit on Ackerley, so this could be on the Aztecs, and they're starting to move back.
I believe they got a holding call against one of his blockers. I think Zuri Glenn was the only one close enough who would have been caught.
So not necessarily 2 straight plays where a penalty was called, but pretty close. And that'll
replay, 3rd down.
Setting up a 3rd and 9. So 2 receivers to each side for the Aztecs. And the Thunder will take a timeout here, their first of the half, with 3:57 to go in the first quarter. With that, we'll take a quick break and return in a moment.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
Score still 7-0 Aztecs here with 3:57 to go in the first quarter from Desert Vista High School in the foothills of Ahwatukee. The Aztecs offense on this drive has been set back by a couple of penalties, and they now sit at 3rd and 9 with Connor Ackerley in the shotgun. As Raiden Finesbright makes a slight motion, Ackerley fires it down the sideline. Out of the reach of his defender, a flag comes in. That pass intended for Crew Swearingen.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11, 15 from the previous spot. First down.
And so a big break there for the Aztecs offense after a couple of penalties hurt them. This time it'll go against the Thunder.
Yeah, the Aztecs had 2 penalties that just pushed back their drive, and then that deep pass from Ackerley over to Swearingen. And there were 2 defenders on Swearingen at that time, and it looked like the one that just got closest to him just kind of nudged him or pushed him a little bit.
All it takes is a little bit to draw the flag, especially when the official's right there on the sideline.
But that's huge for the Aztecs to be able to recover, and at this point, it's just no more penalties. You can't have any more penalties on this drive.
1st and 10 from the 29. Raiden Vinesbright in motion. He gets the screen pass up the left sideline, and he's taken out of bounds around the 23.
And, you know, when you take Vinesbright and you start putting him in motion, all eyes on the defense go toward him, and that's going to open up plays for other people as well. But even when the ball does go Vinesbright's way, he's still able to get some yards.
As far as receiving yards are concerned, Vinesbright is ranked 11th in the state of Arizona. Ackerley shotgun snap, screen pass, Vinesbright again. He rushes forward past the 20.
Yeah, Vinesbright is averaging 122.6 yards per game and has 858 yards on the season heading into this game.
He was taken down right at the sticks, enough for a first down, a 1st and 10 from the 19. And we saw some sort of trickery before with this formation or this roster last game as Crew Swearingen comes in at quarterback. And he takes it himself, runs it right up the middle toward the end zone, and he walks it in. Touchdown, Aztecs.
You were exactly right. We saw a lot of that last week, and it was really successful for them in the red zone, again, where we see it. And Crew Swearingen, that threat of passing and also running is just, it's such a mismatch for the defense.
Well, and he's still been used so little this year that there's not a lot of tape on him from earlier in the season. So you don't really know what to expect.
Camera 1, zoom in. Camera 2, zoom out.
The extra point attempt from Luke Hawley is good. And with that, the Aztecs lead 14-0 under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Back here at Desert Vista High School, fall started a couple weeks ago, but I would say that today or maybe this week is the beginning of what I like to call quarter zip season. It's the first time all year that I've been wearing long sleeves out here at one of our games, and it's starting to get a little chilly here up by the mountains.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you zipping up that jacket. I was a little bit jealous because it made me think that I'm not prepared yet for that. You know, when it starts getting cold and you're like, oh, I wish I brought a jacket. I was like, Paul is so prepared.
Well, you know, I think there's a lot of people that would tend to argue with us about our cooler temperatures here. I know a friend up in North Dakota is getting snow this week. The kickoff is caught at the 5-yard line. The rusher breaks past the 30, still on his feet as he's taken down at the 36. And once again, that is the speedy Barrett Reginald bringing it upfield for the Thunder.
You know, both of these teams were pretty much a year from today, October 21st, 2022, faced off. And that ended up going the Aztecs' way with a 62-48 win over Desert Vista. There's some returning players for the Aztecs, not so much for Desert Vista.
A much different team this year. Brown in the shotgun with a small motion, a handoff. Again, this time the running back bumps into his lineman, and then the Corona del Sol defense able to get right to him and make the tackle. Kyler Dranaski.
Yeah, it seems that the Aztecs are doing a little bit better job of being able to fill those gaps and just make Dranaski second guess which hole or gap he wants to go down.
They lose 1 yard on the play as it brings up 2nd and 11. Dranaski now lined up at the fullback position with Brown in the shotgun. And he motions to his right. And he gets the give again. A second toss. The ball comes loose. But it's unclear. I think they are going to rule that Desert Vista still has it.
Yeah, I think the Desert Vista player was able to get right on top of that ball, but I don't think that first play we saw, that bobble, was considered a fumble for Desert Vista, but that sure was, and that's going to be their 7th offensive fumble on the season so far.
It's one of the risks that comes with those sort of trick plays is there's always a threat with the defenders getting into the backfield and a lot of pressure in that situation. A motion this time, play action pass. Brown looks to throw, escapes the rush, but not for long. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by a couple of defenders for Corona del Sol. That second attempt, they really got to him quick.
Yeah, I think if you're the Aztecs, this is a perfect start for your team. Not only the points that you've put on the board so far, but what you're seeing from your defense. We haven't seen them be able to put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, and I mean that was a 3rd and 22. That quarterback going to have to stay in the pocket a little bit, and to be able to take advantage of that is huge.
So Corona del Sol will get the ball back once again off of this 4th and 23 punt. It's caught around the 50-yard line and taken out of bounds at the 44. I think that might have been Raiden Vinesbright, actually.
You know,
Correction, it was Kevon Thomas. My apologies.
Yeah, the Aztecs have had a lot of yards after catch on offense so far, but they've also had a lot of yards after contact. Desert Vista Thunder haven't done a great job of wrapping up these players, and that's allowing at least maybe 1 or 2 more yards that these players can go down the field with.
A very nice field position here as Connor Ackerley takes over at the 44-yard line of Desert Vista. Takes the snap, and Mustachia gets the handoff. On his feet out around the 40 is where he's taken down.
And that's what we're seeing from the Aztecs so far, is just to try and get that defense focused on that run game and then go for that explosive play. But that's going to look like it's going to end the first quarter.
And with that, the score 14-0. Corona del Sol leads it. And we'll take a quick break.
Hi, my name is Eric Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Eco Roofing Solutions. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I'm the current president of the Arizona Roofing Contractors Association. Our mission is to provide the absolute best customer experience, and we operate all over the entire state of Arizona. We will come out and provide a courtesy, no-obligation roof inspection to you, as well as an estimate within 24 hours. Our team is dedicated to providing the best quality product and workmanship, and we're here to serve you. You can call us at 480-695-7736 or check us out online at ecoroofaz.com. To learn more about us, you can find me on Instagram at YourBeardedRoofer or at Eco Roofing Solutions AZ. We are proud supporters of our community's youth and the next generation, and we would love for you.
Here we are beginning the second quarter from South Phoenix. The Corona del Sol Aztecs have the ball on the 39-yard line, a 2nd and 5 here. Up 14-0. Connor Ackerley takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, and fires deep downfield. Caught by Zuri Glenn. Touchdown, Corona del Sol.
Yeah, Zuri Glenn just was able to just get right past the defender that was on him, just a little bit quicker than that. Not a little bit, a lot quicker than that defender, and was just wide open for the touchdown.
We mentioned in weeks prior how Connor Ackerley really likes to air it out when he has the chance, and tonight he's had a couple of opportunities to do that. The first scoring drive they have, I wasn't taking track, but I think that was 4 or 5 plays. This next one was right around that same area. The extra point attempt up and good, and the Aztecs take a 21-0 lead. Aaron, this is a start that we haven't seen in a while from this Aztecs team, where they've been able to pretty much dominate both sides of the ball early on.
You know, and it's nice to see, because I think this is what this offense is designed to look like. It's meant to use that run game a little bit to set up the pass game. And then once that pass game is set up, take deep shots and get explosive plays from your pass catchers. You know, going back to that game last week, you know, something I noticed during the research for the week was that Zuri Glenn actually had the best game out of the receivers with 122 yards and 2 touchdowns last year against Desert Vista. So I wonder if that was a little bit of a point to try and see if they could get Glenn going again. He's had a good season as well this season, but I wonder if that was a point of emphasis, a little bit advanced scouting from last year.
Zuri Glenn, by all accounts, a fantastic receiver, just overshadowed in the numbers game by one of his teammates, Raiden Vinesbright. But Glenn, not too shabby himself, averaging 56.6 yards per game coming into this contest.
Yeah, and I mean, I think going back to, you know, what you were saying, which is just that we haven't seen this a lot from the Aztecs offense, is this must feel so good to be able to have this 21-0 lead and see what your defense and offense can do now that you're playing probably how you thought you were going to be playing all season.
Malcolm Flynn boots it to the 1-yard line, and the receiver, again, very speedy, takes it upfield as he's tackled at the 27.
Yeah, and I didn't see the number on that special teams player, but that was nice just to get his hand out and stop that receiver from, just slow him down a little bit to the point that he could get brought down.
Trying to find, I just saw it on here over the PA. They said Reginald was the man who brought it back out for the Thunder.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 30. Desert Vista trying to get some points of their own on the board here. A quick pass to the left side and brought down near the first down marker is Isaac Price.
You know, we saw Brophy have a lot of success last week when they went up tempo, and it seems that Desert Vista is going to do the little bit of the same so far on this drive.
They get up to the line quickly. And another quick pass, but it's intercepted by the Aztecs. Still on his feet as he's dragged down around the 11-yard line. A flag on the play, but Elijah McKay came away with the pick.
Yeah, we'll see what the call here is from the ref.
It's a first down this way after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the intercepting team. Be first down.
Yeah, so that was Elijah McKay, and he was just kind of sat right down there, almost playing like a little bit of a zone, just that flat area of the field, and he was just right there ready for the quick pass.
Thankfully for the Aztecs, the penalty was called after the play, and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I mean, you're up 21-0. You get a little excited when you're having a good game and you haven't maybe lived up to what you guys think you could be, which is what they're doing right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is a team so far that for the Aztecs defense that, you know, for their interceptions, they've had quite a few. They've had 5 interceptions on this season so far. So when you get one, yeah, you're going to be excited.
Direct snap to Crew Swearingen. He breaks a tackle as he's brought down around the 35, a gain of about 4 yards. And you look at the running back duo that the Aztecs already have with Nick Mastachia and Quentin Bradley. And when you can bring in a direct snap to Crew Swearingen, who can make moves himself, it's just the options are endless. Swearingen stays in this time, fakes the handoff to Mastachia, stays on his feet as he's tripped up and falls around the 15.
You know, it's so interesting with the Aztecs. Their passing game is what's really highlighted when you look at the stats, but they really have 4 great runners on their teams with Bradley, Mastachia, Swearingen, and then Ackerley, who leads the team in rushing. It's kind of bizarre in which that they have the passing game is what they're known for, but every time you see them run the ball, it's almost like they have success when it comes to their QBs.
And Swearingen continues to stay in the game. This time he hands it off. A hard hit, but the receiver or the runner stands on his feet. That is Dominic Ruiz.
And heading into this game, Swearingen, you know, when he's in there, he's played in 5 games. He has 7 pass attempts and just 2 completions for 89 yards. And I got to wonder if you know, one thing they're looking for when he comes in there is just if there is someone downfield when a defense comes up to, you know, expect the run against him, if they're looking for a pass at some point with him.
Second and 5 for the Aztecs offense. Swearingen gets it again. Got a blocker, Mastachia, and he's taken down inside the 5. And now at this point, you're leading 21-0 in the second quarter. We see Coach Barrow, I think, experimenting a little more with his offense, getting some of the guys who maybe don't get to play at the beginning of every game some more opportunities, and seeing how versatile this offense really is with all the pieces they can plug and play.
Absolutely. And if the Aztecs do end up being able to land that, 16th, 14th, 15th playoff spot, you're putting on good film right now to.
And this time it's Mastachia, and he's in. Touchdown, Corona del Sol.
Just a great play where they really had set up that QB run to the point that he was able to just hand it off to Mastachia. who comes in with his 5th touchdown of the season with that score. But going off what I was saying just a minute ago was that if, heading into the playoffs, if the Aztecs make it, they're on an an uptick, I would say, of how they're doing, even if they lost last week against Brophy.
The extra point attempt is good, and we will take a quick break and return in a moment. 28-0, Corona del Sol leading in the second quarter.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Well, the Aztecs coming out early, putting on an offensive show, 28-0 with 8:40 to go in the first half here at Desert Vista.
Yeah, and just looking at the Aztec schedule so far of how they've done, just checking to make sure. I think this is their first time this season scoring 28 points. Looks like their highest. No, they had 56 against Marcos Deniza.
That Marcos Deniza game was the last one where we saw a performance similar to this, but still different in that it was maybe more of a back and forth game early on. This one, at this point, just seems sort of one-sided early on.
Yeah, and it looks like on that kick, it looks like they're going to re-kick this. Okay, looks like it just got to place the ball on the holder for a minute. But yeah, if you're the Aztecs, you're definitely pleased for sure with a 28-0 lead. You're pleased of where you're at so far, and I think if you're head coach Jake Barr, you're saying don't let up. Yeah, it seems like a big lead. Everyone knows it's a big lead right now, but it can go away very quickly.
Malcolm Flynn with a rifle of a kick that goes through the hands of the receiver and into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, the receiver just tried to reach out above him to bring it in, and it just was too hard of a kick, and it went right through his hands and out of the back of the end zone.
Good shot there for you.
Now, it's maybe a little early to start jumping to conclusions here, but the momentum we've seen so far in this game, if you can carry that into your next and final regular season game against Castile, that sets you up in a place that I'm sure Coach Barrow really wants to be with the mentality of this team. They've been working and trying to figure out what works for so long this season against a very difficult schedule. And their schedule is well acknowledged, the difficulty of it. They're ranked 38th in the state and 23rd in 6A. Flag comes in on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 72. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, it looks like just right before that snapped, Zion Macklin, Jr. with Desert Vista, just kind of came up a little bit early on before the hike. But I totally agree. I mean, if you can just start putting together a win, 2 wins, if you can finish the season on 2 wins, you head into the playoffs looking very good, and a lot of teams probably being a little fearful of this team that's coming on late.
Handoff again up the left side this time. Tackle made quickly by Corona del Sol as the running back brought down at the 20.
And it was a really tough schedule for Corona del Sol, and I think, not to say that this was intentional or that that losses are good, but those were tough games. They probably learned a lot about themselves and what they could handle and what they could do. And that's going to help majorly when you're playing teams that aren't necessarily the Chandlers or the Centennials.
Play action pass this time. The pass is thrown to the left side and falls incomplete.
Yeah, that was Barrett Reginald, the team's leading receiver, who just was on that little curl route, came back to the quarterback, and it was right on him. It was a good pass. Quarterback had a lot of time in the pocket, just wasn't able to bring it into his body.
That's got to be a key player to watch for the Aztecs defense, because we've seen how fast Reginald has been on the kickoff returns, and if you let him loose a few too many times, this game is not out of hand by any means for the Thunder to make a comeback. Play action. No, it is a handoff. A big run past the first down marker.
Yeah, and that was a third and 10 for Desert Vista, who just kind of went opposite of what you would expect them to do there, and I think that kind of that was kind of the reason for that gain, was the defense figured they were going to pass, and there was tons of grass for the running back to go down.
First and 10, 32-yard line.
Plenty of time to work with for Desert Vista. 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half. And this time, Brown will line up under center. He drops back into the pocket, throws down the right sideline, just outside the reach of his receiver.
Yeah, and that was Brandon Holmes who was on the receiver there, and he just had very tight coverage on the receiver that entire way down the field. There was no separation that he could really get on Holmes.
Brandon Holmes, one of the multi-skilled players on this Aztec defense. The other safety back there with him, I believe, generally is Kevon Thomas, who wears number 1. And the two of them are most often the special teams returners for Corona del Sol. A handoff up the middle this time. The running back breaks through some traffic before he's tripped up at the 40-yard line. And who else but Kyler Dranaski?
Yeah, Brandon Holmes and Kevon Thomas have been a great duo. Brandon Holmes, 5th in the 6A conference with four interceptions, and Thomas has 20 total tackles and averages 28.8 yards on punt and kick returns. So a great duo, not only on the defense, but with Thomas, a great defense and special teams player.
3rd and 2. The line to gain is at the 38, and they'll hand it off to Dranaski again. He gets close to the first down marker, but we'll see where they stop his forward progress as the officials walk in from the side.
Yeah, I think it looked to me like he was short, but we've kind of seen them be a little bit generous with that forward progress and move the sticks, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nope, it is going to happen.
No, it is.
The moment I start saying, every single time that I say it's not going to happen, it starts happening. So that's going to be a first down for the Thunder.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the number of interceptions by the two safeties, if you will, on the Aztec defense. Thanks to the later start time, I was able to kind of watch the preliminary warm-ups as the Aztecs got off the bus and came onto the field pregame. And that was really something on the defensive side they were emphasizing, was kind of going up and getting free or open passes and turning and running back on the interceptions.
Yeah, that was a point of emphasis for them during those warm-ups, just like you said, was just kind of, they had Swearingen kind of throw the ball in the air and then intercept. They would have someone intercept it, and you would just go through that practice of just what does that look like when you got to make a quick decision and start blocking for your guy.
Desert Vista gets a first down on that one, and the ball will be at the Aztecs' 48-yard line. Brown under center, takes the snap, hands off up the middle once again. Brought down at the 45 is Kyler Dranaski.
Yeah, and the Thunder may be down 28-0, but they're not moving away from what works well with their offense, and that's going to be their run game. And if there's any team on this field right now who knows that a 28-0 lead can go away real fast, it's going to be the Aztecs, who came very close last week to being able to tie it up 28-28 against Brophy, but just ran out of time pretty much in the fourth quarter. But I'm sure that's going to be a key point for Jake Barrow at the halftime if the score stays the same. Is we've seen personally what happens to teams if they just they take their foot off the gas.
Brown under center again. Play action, looking right, throwing right. Coming back to the ball is his receiver. Did he make the catch?
It looks like they're walking it back. It looked good to me, but yeah, it just looks like it was just a little bit out of reach for the receiver. A lot of time in the pocket for the quarterback there, for Brown.
But that's the challenge when they don't bring as much pressure up front. The safeties and the secondary of the Aztecs, it's so talented that sometimes there's just no one open.
Yeah, we saw that on that deep ball, right, where Holmes just was glued to his guy. And so when you're not necessarily getting pressure, you have that trust in the secondary to be able to back you up.
Brown walks back into the shotgun, motions a man over to the right, steps back, now steps up, feels the pressure, and he's taken down.
And we finally are seeing that Aztecs pass rush get to the quarterback a little bit. Brown went to his left a little bit to try and just alleviate some pressure. But we saw Jamie Carey on that sack, along with another defensive player as well. And that's going to be set the Thunder up for a 4th and 12 and a punt.
A valiant effort on this last drive for Desert Vista. One of perhaps their longest drives of the game, but they'll have to kick it away once again with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. It first bounces at the 20. The Aztecs try to keep it out of the end zone.
Yeah, we saw a Desert Vista special teams player just trying to pop the ball, see if they could just kind of get it to drop dead. But I think it actually is going to be on the goal line for the Aztecs. Maybe I can't see where the ball placement was.
Well, now that I think about it, I kind of question the way that the special teams unit handled that, because you'd think, why were they trying to keep it out of the end zone when they could have had a touchback?
Yeah, it's going to set the Aztecs up in another tough spot where they're going to be within their own end zone now, on their own 1-yard line.
Now they start to walk up, and I think the officials instead decide to spot it at the 11. Two receivers to each side for Connor Ackerley, who fires left side, and it's caught by Jai Jones, who's dragged down after about a yard or two after the catch. Set up a nice 2nd and short.
One thing with receivers, and even this comes with running backs sometimes too, is that when you think of a fast receiver, you think of someone who can just get downfield right away. But one of the best traits you can have too is a quick break and release off of your defender, and they've done a good job today so far of being able to have a quick release.
This time it's a handoff to Quentin Bradley, breaks free toward the right side, and he's taken down past the first down 6 by quite a bit at the 31. And that'll move the chains.
And it just seems for the Aztecs that, they'll have some really good plays, and then they'll just have a player who has an explosive play, who's able to go for a good amount of yards. And it seems like that's what's really helping them just keep these drives sustained.
On 1st and 10, Connor Ackerley looks to throw, does. Over the middle, the pass is caught by Zuri Glenn for a first down.
That pass was on a line. That was a quick pass over to Zuri Glenn, and Glenn had a defender on him, and he was able to still bring that catch in.
No, that was I agree. That was the perfect placement, the perfect spot. Everything had to be perfect for that because the defender practically had his arms wrapped around it and could have came away with the ball himself. Play action this time. Ackerley fakes left, pump fakes right, runs right, tries to get past the defender, but he's tripped up. I think he'll lose a yard or two on that one.
Yeah, that play was interesting. It was a pump fake to the screen to Vinesbright, I believe, and then a pump fake down the field. Not that this was necessarily what the play was designed to be, and then it just ends up being for a loss of yards. I actually got lost on the play. I was looking downfield for the pass. I was so used to, I wasn't expecting the double pump.
So the lineup from the right hash this time for 2nd and 12. Ackerley this time looks left and throws underneath Jai Jones.
That's going to set them up for a
Incomplete.
3rd and 13. But, one thing that we've talked a lot about the receivers and Ackerley and the running backs, but the offensive line has done a great job and is looking the best they have so far this season, and just being able to double team defensive line or linebackers and give Ackerley protection and time to throw the ball deep downfield.
Raiden Vinesbright motions slightly. He goes over the middle. The pass is to him. It's caught past the first down marker. And he's taken out of bounds at the 34. Raiden Vinesbright doing what he does best.
And that was Vinesbright, and he was on a crossing route moving across the field to his left. And as he was crossing, he just started moving up a little bit downfield, separating from his defender, and was able to bring that ball in. And they've been trying to get that play going for a few drives. I've seen that crossing route for Vinesbright a few plays ago, and they were finally able to hit on it and connect with him.
And it sets up a first down at the 35. Play action, a very convincing one, and Ackerley's got to throw it away.
He throws it away, and it'll be a 2nd and 10 with 49 seconds left in the first half. So, kind of, if you want to come away with points here, so you're probably in just past territory right now for sure.
2nd and 10.
Plenty of time to work with, as well as 3 timeouts for Coach Barrow. As they'll go trips right on this one, as Jai Jones motions back across to the left side. Ackerley steps up, throws toward the end zone over the head of Jai Jones.
Yeah, and it looks like Jones just kind of let up a little bit on that ball, or it might have been the defender who was able just to slow him down a little bit, but looks like there was just a little bit of a stutter there, and that was what led to that ball being just out of reach for Jones. And it's going to be a 3rd and 10 then for the Aztecs with 43 seconds left in the first half.
More than likely, I don't know. Actually, we can probably look it up here. I might have the stat itself. I was going to say this is probably outside of field goal range for the kicker, Luke Hawley. Ackerley feels the pressure, rolls out right, and throws. The pass is caught by Raiden Vinesbright at the 15, down to the 12.
And another crossing route for Vinesbright, where he is just lined up pretty much right in front of Ackerley down the field, as Ackerley was also scrambling to his right, and they were able to connect. But it looks like there'll be a timeout here.
And the Aztecs take their first of the half with 24.9 to go. So really close to the end of the first half here, and I think for Coach Barrow, there's not a whole lot to complain about.
Oh no, I mean this has to be above the best case scenario for them. I think, what we saw last year with Desert Vista, there was a very high scoring game between the two of them. It was different teams, obviously, but I think you expect a little bit of continuity in some sense of expecting the same thing. You're shutting out this opponent right now who pretty much threatens a playoff spot for you, and to be able to come out into this game, have the performance that you're having right now, has to be a huge plus for the team, for Jake Barrow.
Well, and just building on that point about the playoffs, even if you kind of try and secure that spot with 2 wins here at the end of the season, if you can win tonight and somehow win next week at Castile, your record ends up still, I believe, it would be 4-6 at that point. So you're still flying under the radar quite a bit, on paper at least.
Absolutely, and that strength of schedule, I think that could almost help, the Aztecs in a sense, in that the losses they did have wasn't to teams that necessarily they should have lost to. It was to very tough teams, or that they should have beaten.
1st and 10, Ackerley rolls out left, throws to the sideline of the end zone. Did he stay in bounds? No, they'll call it incomplete.
Attempt out of bounds.
Zuri Glenn just not able to get the 2 feet down in the end zone.
I think that's such a huge timing part is, Ackerley has to take time to scramble and Glenn has to get to his spot, but the defender at the same time is right behind him and running him out of bounds at the same time. And so I think that's just one of those situations where, they had the connection, it just timing-wise wasn't necessarily there.
2nd and 10, they'll line up 2 to each side again as Ackerley looks to throw, steps up and goes to the sideline again. Jumping up and making the catch is Jai Jones, and they'll give him the touchdown.
Oh my gosh, that pass, similar play in the sense where Ackley was looking to his left and Jai Jones was going toward his left up down the field. And what impressed me the most is the contested catch on that, in the air with a defender on him, and was able to bring it in for the touchdown.
You mentioned the timing factor as well, and that one just couldn't have been timed any better than that. Malcolm Flynn, the holder. Luke Hawley awaiting the kick. And it's good. 35-0. The Aztecs lead it. 11.3 seconds to go in the first half.
But even with it being 35-0 after that Brophy game, we've seen so many times where in the second half teams let up. They don't play the same way in the first half. That energy gets drained out. And so I think if you're Coach Barrow, you're going in there, like we talked about earlier, where you're saying that let's not let up. Let's not let this team get back in it. And I mean, when you're shutting out a team, you have this emphasis also to keep that shutout going, which I think also is a huge help for the defense and be able to prove something here on Desert Vista's home field.
Absolutely. And if nothing else, you want to keep it sounds maybe like keep the players warm. Maybe that seems a little unclear, but what I mean more by that is going into the next game, you don't want to have your top players, Connor Ackerley, Raiden Vinesbright, Zuri Glenn, sitting out an entire half going into next week against Castile if they are able to come away with it.
But going off a point of what you said, I'm interested to see if in the second half, if we do see some things that maybe we haven't seen from Corona so far this season, if we see some different packages or different ways that they use Swearingen. We haven't seen him in the past game a lot when he's in there. I wonder if they do try and experiment a little bit for things they'll see at Castile or later in the season.
This time it's a low kick off the legs of the receiver. He picks it up and takes it all the way to the 48. The clock will stop with 5 seconds to go, so you imagine probably just one play here, and we'll see what the Thunder decide to do.
Risky play. I mean, it does take a lot of time off of the clock, but at the same time, we have seen the Thunder special teams do pretty well so far in getting some return yards and block for their returners. So a little bit risky play, but yeah, just like you said, it'll probably be about just enough for one deep ball downfield.
They huddle on the sideline here as Coach Scooter Melander rallies the troops, and they head out once again, led by Zachary Brown. They'll go trips right at the top of the screen. Have to imagine a big play here coming from the shotgun. Brown with a lot of time, heaves it downfield on the right side. It's broken up, it's caught, but unfortunately the time just expired.
Still an amazing catch from, I can't see the number, but that was a great catch. The ball was hit off of the defender, the Aztecs defender, and right into the arms of Isaac Price for the Thunder.
So that one would have been down inside the 20, but the timer sounds here for halftime, and at halftime, the Corona del Sol Aztecs lead Desert Vista 35-0. We will be back after these halftime messages from Phoenix.
Hello everyone, this is Kyle Cooper with Varsity Sports, and I'm back with another halftime segment. To start off Week 8 of NFL games, the Tampa...
Hello friends, Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2times.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, Arizona sports fans. I'm Lofton Lechner, and I couldn't be happier to be joining the Varsity Sports team as a technical director for fall 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Lofton Lechner to stay locked in for the season.
Hi Varsity sports fans, this is Shai Gara. Make sure you stay tuned for our halftime where we break down different highlights from sports locally or otherwise, so plenty of entertainment and content coming your way if you stick around with us. What I personally think is cool about our halftime show is we cover different sports, maybe some you might not expect, and a variety of different content, of course, high school football, and maybe some professional stuff such as NFL highlights from the previous week.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Hi, my name is Eric Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Eco Roofing Solutions. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I'm the current president of the Arizona Roofing Contractors Association. Our mission is to provide the absolute best customer experience, and we operate all over the entire state of Arizona. We will come out and provide a courtesy, no obligation roof inspection to you, as well as an estimate within 24 hours. Our team is dedicated to providing the best quality product and workmanship, and we're here to serve you. You can call us at 480-695-7736 or check us out online at ecoroofaz.com. To learn more about us, you can find me on Instagram at YourBeardedRoofer or at Eco Roofing Solutions AZ. We are proud supporters of our community's youth and the next generation, and we would love for you to come and join the hashtag Eco family today.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Hey everyone, my name is Jason Goldie from the Varsity Sports Show. I love sports and fell in love with sports broadcasting back in high school. I can't wait to bring you my unique perspective because I am on the autism spectrum and sometimes I view things a little differently.
Hey listeners, it's Vince from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in this Saturday as we broadcast live from the Arizona State Fair. It's been at the same location since 1905, and this year, the Varsity Sports Show will be there too. We'll also give you a double shot of funny with Ask Lucas and Beachin' with Beal's Southern California Surf Report. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 8 to 10 on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona. Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2Tons.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, Arizona sports fans. I'm Lofton Lechner, and I couldn't be happier to be joining the varsity sports team as a technical director for fall 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Lofton Lechner to stay locked in for the season.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Hi, my name is Eric Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Eco Roofing Solutions. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I'm the current president of the Arizona Roofing Contractors Association. Our mission is to provide the absolute best customer experience, and we operate all over the entire state of Arizona. We will come out and provide a courtesy, no obligation roof inspection to you, as well as an estimate within 24 hours. Our team is dedicated to providing the best quality product and workmanship, and we're here to serve you. You can call us at 480-695-7736 or check us out online at ecoroofaz.com. To learn more about us, you can find me on Instagram at YourBeardedRoofer or at EcoRoofingSolutionsAZ. We are proud supporters of our community's youth and the next generation, and we would love for you to come and join the hashtag Eco family today.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Hey everyone, my name is Jason Goldie from the Varsity Sports Show. I love sports and fell in love with sports broadcasting back in high school. I can't wait to bring you my unique perspective because I am on the autism spectrum and sometimes I view things a little differently.
Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2Tons.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, Arizona sports fans. I'm Lofton Lechner, and I couldn't be happier to be joining the Varsity Sports team as a technical director for fall 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Lofton Lechner to stay locked in for the season.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Hi, my name is Eric Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Eco Roofing Solutions. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I'm the current president of the Arizona Roofing Contractors Association. Our mission is to provide the absolute best customer experience, and we operate all over the entire state of Arizona. We will come out and provide a courtesy, no obligation roof inspection to you, as well as an estimate within 24 hours. Our team is dedicated to providing the best quality product and workmanship, and we're here to serve you. You can call us at 480-695-7736 or check us out online at ecoroofaz.com. To learn more about us, you can find me on Instagram at YourBeardedRoofer or at Eco Roofing Solutions AZ. We are proud supporters of our community's youth and the next generation, and we would love for you to come and join the hashtag Eco Family today.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Hey everyone, my name is Jason Goldie from the Varsity Sports Show. I love sports and fell in love with sports broadcasting back in high school. I can't wait to bring you my unique perspective because I am on the autism spectrum and sometimes I view things a little differently.
We welcome you back to Friday Night Lights here at Desert Vista High School, South Phoenix on the south side of South Mountain. A lot of southern terminology there. Forgive my puns, but Corona del Sol football brought to you by the Varsity Sports Show. They're taking on Desert Vista on the road this week, and they lead it 35-0 after halftime. Paul Schultz along with Aaron Decker. And we've said it a few times, but I think far and away the best overall performance we've seen this season from Coach Barrow's squad.
Absolutely. I mean, on the offense, what we're seeing is all three factors pretty much working for them. Their receiving is working great. That's pretty much where their receptions or their receiving touchdowns have come from so far. We've also seen the run game have a lot more success when it comes to Connor Ackerley, Cruz Swearingen, Nick Mustachia, and Quentin Bradley, all being able to find ways early in drives to get the offense downfield. And then on the other side, on defense, we're finally starting to see them get some pressure on the quarterback, starting to make some big plays. We saw an interception earlier from McKay. And so it seems like this is the first time we're seeing every side of the team starting to work in cohesion.
The 2-6 Aztecs trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. And here we go from the second half as the Thunder get the ball first. The receiver, the speedy receiver, tries to break outside. He's taken down. The ball, they'll rule him down. Looked like the ball might have come loose there for a second, but not enough to catch the attention of the official.
And a great job on the special teams. We've seen that the Thunder have done a great job of getting long returns off their kickoffs and their punts. And this was one of the first times that we saw that the Aztec special teams really just closed in on whoever that was. That returner was moving to his left, and Jamar Patterson was the one who kind of closed in on him and was able to bring him down.
Yeah, we've called his name a couple times. Barrett Reginald, number 12 for the Thunder. He actually is second on the team in average receiving yards per game with 32.5. Play action here from the quarterback, Brown. He rolls out and throws. Pass is caught at the 50. And taken out of bounds right away is the receiver.
You know, it's kind of a bittersweet situation for the Aztecs because the Thunder do so well with their run game. We saw early on that they were able to really utilize their run game to move downfield a little bit, but now that's going to be taken away from them. And so on one hand, you've taken away the run game, but now you got to see how well you do against this pass game. And right now, starting off early, they completed a shot deep downfield.
Yeah, we mentioned it at the end of the first half that the Aztecs were practicing on interceptions early in their warm-ups today, but on this opening drive of the second half, another deep pass play, this time out of the reach, I should say, of the receiver for the Thunder, but it seems like they're relying on the pass game early, and this game is far from over.
And again, that was Brandon Holmes who was on the receiver there. He's had a couple good plays where he's able to just glue on to his receiver and not really let up in any way or have any space be left between the two. And that's really helped make sure that these passes are contested.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 50 as Brown goes under center, takes the snap, drops back and hands it off up the middle. And a good stop right there by the Aztecs defensive line as they brought down Kyler Drunasky.
Yeah, this is a great job. It looked like Drunasky was going to have a nice little gain there, but they were able to just wrap him up quickly and bring him down.
And that'll bring up 3rd and 10, a drive that on the first couple of plays seemed to be working pretty quickly for Desert Vista, and the Aztec defense has come up big on the last couple to force a 3rd and long here. It'll also force a shotgun from the quarterback, Brown. Motions the running back. Play action, rolls left, looks and throws deep on the left side, incomplete over the reach of his receiver, Barrett Reginald, who was guarded on that play.
Yeah, and it seems like the Thunder were trying to get the ball into one of their playmakers, but equally the Aztecs had one of their playmakers, Kevon Thomas, who was anticipating where that ball was going to go and was pretty much in front of the receiver. Could have been a pick if the ball was a little bit closer to Kevon, but it was quite a ways away from him on that throw.
So Thomas, after a solid coverage effort, will go off to the side, and Cambrell Walker will be back deep to receive the punt for Corona del Sol. Oh, and wasn't sure if he was going to get there in time, but Crew Swearingen sprinted into the backfield, got a hand on that punt, and it went out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Corona del Sol. So that's optimal field position.
You know, it seems like Crew Swearingen has been all over the field these past 2 weeks. We saw last week he got utilized more and then also scored a touchdown last week as well. And in this game so far, he's being used a lot in the same role that we saw, and now he's got a punt block.
Aaron, you mentioned it last week. I don't think there's a better example on this team of a Swiss Army knife than you have in Crew Swearingen. This time a handoff up the middle to Quentin Bradley. He falls forward, actually stays on his feet for a couple more yards. He was initially tripped up at the 50 and I think got 2 more on that.
And with it being 35-0 right now, it is going to be a running clock. It does look like there's an injured player on the field, though.
Right in the middle of that big pack.
And the time will stop, obviously, for an injured player. But, you know, one thing I think is important for the Thunder to coming into this second half is you need as many offensive opportunities you can take. And so this defense needs to find a way to get the Aztecs off the field quick.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it right there. I mean, the clock started with 12 minutes on it. We're down now already to 7:44 in the third quarter with each team only having one possession. And so every minute, every second, every play counts even more for Desert Vista.
You know, going back to the Aztecs defense, you know, I think one thing that's been really great for them so far is that even when the Thunder are able to go downfield and have an explosive play or an explosive run, the Aztecs have done a good job in this game of just not letting that really deter them. They find a way to get the Thunder on a third and longs. You're not seeing a lot of 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s for the Thunder so far in this game.
Yeah, a really resilient effort by the defense with their ability to bounce back. And I think that's something that we've kind of harped on, at least on most of the broadcasts all year long for both sides of the ball. Connor Ackerley has been offensively under a lot of pressure with some of these tougher defensive fronts he's been facing. And it all boils down to, you know, you got to have a quick mind. You got to be able to hit that reset button quick because earlier in the season, the defense, you mentioned how many interceptions they had. They would intercept a pass 2 plays after their defensive drive started, and Connor Ackerley got the ball back. Here he's got the ball, and he gets a quick pass out to, I believe, Quentin Bradley.
But it looks like that ball might have – it looks like it's still with Bradley, but it looked a little bit like that ball might have dropped a little bit. I didn't see, but great point. I mean, I think there's also a larger story to the season overall is growing throughout the season and maybe – some issues you had in the first half. We saw obviously they lost quite a few games in the first half. How can you get better in the second half?
Ackerley looks to throw and he'll take off instead, slides down at the marker, and that should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, we haven't seen Ackerley's run a little bit, but you know, last week we saw him run a lot just by the amount of pressure he was being put on. But the runs that we have seen from Ackerley have gone for nice gains, even some first down conversions just like that one.
In the shotgun once again, Jai Jones motioning over. He gets the handoff but loses the football. And Desert Vista recovers.
You know, we saw that a little bit earlier with some of the reverse plays of how messy those can be sometimes and how that puts your receivers or your running backs in a position to have to hold on to that handoff. And so we've seen that those are hard plays to not fumble or turn over on.
Well, and especially with the precision that those jet sweeps take with how you have to basically time the snap perfectly as the man motions across. Just a lot of room for error, and not to blame one person. That's just the nature of the play design.
Absolutely.
Empty backfield this time for Brown as the Thunder start on the 45, 1st and 10. He'll try to dump it off to his receiver, incomplete, and a flag does indeed fly in for a late hit. They're going to probably get Elijah McKay with that one.
Yeah, it looks
very
like
close call.
just a little bit of a late hit on Maxwell Sprott for the Desert Vista.
Defense, number 15, be 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's a big break right there. 15 yards for the late hit.
Aztecs 15 yards, first and 10.
You know, the Aztecs are up 35-0, but you still don't want to see penalties and you don't want to see turnovers that can possibly let a team even just have a little bit of momentum or get their way back in.
Empty backfield again for Brown as he motions the running back behind him. It'll be a play action. He rolls right and throws there. The pass is caught. Receiver breaks one tackle but can't get past another. And a nice gain of 6 or so.
Great pursuit on that. Great pursuit, but didn't match it up with the wraparound tackle on the receiver.
Isaac Price credited with the reception and Cambrell Walker on the coverage. That'll bring up 2nd and 4. Quarterback keeper here for Brown. He's got to falls to the ground there. You could tell probably not happy with the end result of that play.
Yeah, just a little bit of misdirection they tried with the read option to the running back. Defensive line for the Aztecs were able to just sniff that out and be able to get Brown at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down from the same spot, and Desert Vista calls their first timeout of the second half. 3:52 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, take a timeout. Just see, you're at a part of the field you haven't really been in a lot this game. Try and find plays in which you think are going to work, and make sure that you don't make any mistakes as well. We saw what happened with the Aztecs, the turnover. Slow it down a little bit. You just had a big stop. The Aztecs had a big stop. Slow it down, take a timeout, get some composure, and see if you can get back going.
And I think Coach Barrow's mentality, I'm sure, coming out of the half, and probably the same thing but to an even bigger degree now, was happy with the score but not satisfied. They still had an entire half of football to play, now nearing the end of the 3rd quarter, but you want to see your team be able to finish, and especially when it comes to playoff time, that's going to be what's most essential above anything else.
Absolutely, and it's all about, like, if you can go into the playoffs with momentum, everything else that you had this season, whatever record it was, whatever games you lost in the first half, if you go into the playoffs strong, if you go into it on a hot streak, you can do something in the playoffs. You can do something great.
So it'll be an empty backfield for Brown again, and just as I say that, the running back comes back in again. And more of just a trickery play as the play action and the pass thrown to the left side. Receiver breaks back across the middle. And Isaac Price gets a first down and much more for the Thunder.
Yeah, and Isaac Price was just in the flat, left all alone, and once he caught that ball, started moving toward the middle of the field where he was able to eventually get tackled, but he was able to evade one of the Aztecs defenders.
So whatever was said in that timeout seemed to work there, as they've got a 1st and 10 at the 20 now. They go true empty backfield this time. Pass is caught. Receiver breaks a couple tackles toward the goal line. He's finally taken down. And that would be Cale Moore.
And the Aztecs right now just aren't doing a great job of wrapping up the player that they're on and allowing some yards after catch for the Thunder and a chance to go downfield.
And it's kind of uncharacteristic of what we've seen for most of this game, where the defense has had a bend, don't break mentality, and now it's 1st and 3 on the 3. Looks like they'll hand it off up the middle and in for the touchdown. And with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, the Thunder have their first points of the night. It's 35-6.
Yeah, I think that was just one of those situations where they had about 3 players in the backfield on that play, and I think that just made it complicated for the defense to know who to go after, who to attack.
Extra point attempt will come on now from Caden Leonard. Play blown dead for a second at least.
Half the distance. You want it? Leave it. Time down.
So Desert Vista declines the penalty. I think Corona del Sol may have had one too many men on the field. An illegal substitution is what it officially is called. Leonard's attempt is up and good. And Desert Vista strikes first here in the second half. 35-7 now. We'll take a quick break and return in a moment.
Hey listeners, it's Vince from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in this Saturday as we broadcast live from the Arizona State Fair. It's been at the same location since 1905, and this year, the Varsity Sports Show will be there too. We'll also give you a double shot of funny with Ask Lucas and Beachin' with Beal's Southern California Surf Report. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 8 to 10 on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Took a little under 10 minutes for the first points of the second half to be put on the board, but Desert Vista erases the 0. And they're now down 35-7 here near the end of the third quarter. I believe that will stop the running clock, at least for now. Backtracking on the ball was Kevon Thomas. He brings it out past the 30 on his feet down the sideline. He's tripped up and taken out of bounds inside the 45. Kevon Thomas with a spectacular special teams play.
Great play from Thomas just to take. He got that in the. He received that ball in his own end zone and was able to get it out just almost to the 50-yard line. Just a great return for him. Thomas is averaging 28.8 yards per kick return and punt return combined.
And now it's on Connor Ackerley to keep the pedal to the metal here. Fake the handoff to Swearingen, and instead, up the middle, staying on his feet, is number 25. I don't think we've seen him much this season. That would be Jesse Fuentes.
You know, we talked a little bit heading into the second half if we're going to see some other players, if we're going to see them try new things. And even though they just gave up a touchdown, looks like that's what they're going to do. They're going to start giving some more reps to some players we may not have seen as much this season.
And here we go, another carry. This time, the Vista line immediately sniffs it out.
I think if you're head coach Jake Barr, you're letting your team you got to let your team know no mental mistake. You've let this team back in just a little bit, and one more score kind of makes it into a situation where you're only down 2 possessions, and that can happen very quickly, especially if you're turning the ball over. I think it's important that the Aztecs don't turn the ball over here. That's got to be a key point for them.
Trips right this time. Ackerley keeps it and pass complete to Dominic Ruiz, who is stopped at the 32.
And I think the Aztecs are going to let the clock run all the way down, and that'll end the third quarter here in about 15 seconds. But on that play, they were able to just give the defender to kind of pursue Ackerley. He was able to toss it off to the receiver.
Yeah, they walk toward the sideline, and they'll take a breather. At the end of the third quarter, 35-7, Corona del Sol leads here at the home of the Thunder, Desert Vista High School.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show. Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you.
Quarter now underway here from Desert Vista. The first play of it, a handoff for Corona del Sol's Jesse Fuentes. He's been getting quite a few carries on this last drive as sort of baptism by fire, getting right into the game here in the second half. And he's done a pretty good job here in the run game.
Absolutely.
First and 10 at the 26.
Picks up a first down there. And Fuentes gets it again. Wide open hole on the right side, and then he crashes inside to a defender, and he's brought down.
And I think if you're the Aztecs right now, you're definitely your priority is to score for sure, but at the same time, try and take as much time off the clock as you can.
When those two work hand in hand now, they're not up 35 anymore as they were at the beginning of the second half. If they can score a touchdown and get that back up, keep the clock running, try to cruise this thing to a victory. Ackerley pass play, wide open Crew Swearingen, and he's brought down at the 10.
Ackerley is so quick, even when he's running, but even on that moment, he looked down the field to his right, didn't have the read he wanted, and just like that, was able to quickly turn to his left, and find Swearingen. So quick.
First and goal now at the 10. And Fuentes gets the handoff again. Not quite to the goal line, but a nice run to make it second and short.
And Fuentes we have not seen at all this season so far. It doesn't have any carries heading into this game.
Dominic Ruiz in motion. He gets the handoff on the jet sweep, and he's caught up before he can get to the goal line and tackled down.
And it just kind of didn't score there, but like we said earlier, it just takes time off the clock. Third and 4 on their on the Thunder's 4-yard line.
A flag flies in, and they're going to get called
Part
for
of
a
the snap.
false start.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Just a little jumpy, and it'll push them back and make it just a little bit more difficult on this 3rd down, 3rd and goal.
Missouri Glenn in one-on-one on the bottom. Fuentes gets the handoff again, and he gets stopped once again.
It was a 3rd and 8. It's going to bring up a 4th and goal, and it looks like they're going to bring on their special teams team here for the field goal attempt.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special announcement from the concession stand. Hot dogs officially went on price. They are jumbo dogs.
So it'll be the regular kicking unit, Luke Hawley, the kicker, and Malcolm Flynn, the holder, as they attempt the field goal. It's up and good. And Corona del Sol's first points of the second half, they get 3 here and make it 38-7.
And yeah, that'll get Hawley to 15 and 18 for the season when it comes to field goals.
He's been pretty consistent on those attempts. And if you take a look back at the schedule, we talked earlier, and it's no secret the record that this team has. But if you were to look at this team and have no information going in on paper, this does not look like a team who's only won 2 games this year.
Absolutely, and this is a team that has so much talent. A lot of their players are some of the best in Arizona when it comes to football. It's just they played such a tough schedule. I mean, you're looking at teams like who you're seeing in the Open, who potentially could be playing in the Open. You're looking at like your Chandlers, your Centennials, and even if not, you're playing some of the best 6A teams for sure. So you're playing tough competition. You didn't necessarily beat those, but did you learn something from them that could possibly help you later on in the season? But no doubt, this team is playing below their talent level, at least with what their record is showing.
Absolutely, and you mentioned some of those open division teams potentially in Centennial and Chandler, that those games that you probably weren't guaranteed to win when you scheduled those before the season started. There were a couple others, however, as this return is brought out almost to the 25. As I mentioned, there were a couple of other games. Ooh, extracurriculars, and a flag flies in.
The ref will probably convene here to go over this penalty flag. And the refs are huddling up. But yeah, going at that schedule, definitely you look at it, and there are some games that they could have won, and there are games that you look at that and you realize now looking how those teams finished that were a lot tougher than what you expected maybe going into the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at
another flag is thrown.
Wow.
Not sure exactly what caused the second flag to be thrown, but
After the play, unsportsmanlike contact, number 6. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 24. Both penalties will be enforced. 1st down.
Number 6 and number 24 for Corona del Sol. That'd be Ty Seaver for number 24 and Ariana Wade.
I think Ty Seaver was exchanging his thoughts with the officials after the end of that on the previous penalty call.
And I think if you're the Aztecs, you want to finish this game strong. You want to come out of this game having a pretty penalty clean game, and you don't want that to spur up at in the last quarter. You know.
Mm-hmm. Coach Barrow has said a couple times that, and it boils down to looking at the score in some of these games. They were great in the first half. They came out all right in the second half, and they just could not finish it. You look at the 28-21 loss to Brophy last week. It was one of those kinds of games where it did come down to a Hail Mary at the end of the game, but it really shouldn't have had to be at that point. So Desert Vista now trying to do what they can with a 7 minutes, a little over 7 minutes. Pass over the middle is caught by the running back, number 31. That would be Kyler Dranaski.
You know, we were talking about their schedule, and I think if we look at, how they started in that first half compared to how they've done relatively in that second half, that Chandler game they lost 42 to nothing. Before that was a 51 to 21 loss to Pinnacle and a 55 to 21 loss against Centennial. But you look what happened after their 56 to 7 win over Marcos Deniza, a 29 to 20 loss to Sal Point, 38 to 13 against Mountain Point, and a 28-21. So even if they are losing some of these games, but it's not by the margin we saw early on.
Oh, pass right before he gets hit, incomplete, but the quarterback there was just rocked by the Corona del Sol defense. That would be Renner Johnson coming in and applying the pressure.
That's going to set it up as a 3rd and 2 for the Thunder, an important 3rd and 2. I'd have to imagine that they're in 4-down territory for sure with the deficit they're at and with 6 minutes left in the game.
So they go empty backfield on 3rd and 2. They're going for the end zone. Pass is intercepted by Corona del Sol. Down the sideline, no one's going to catch him. Touchdown Aztecs.
And that looks to me like that was Elijah McKay who's going to tally his 2nd interception of the game.
And I think for Corona del Sol, in a game like this, when it's been so quiet for them in this second half, that defensive play to maybe pick up the offense and pick up the whole team is just what you need.
And I just think that the defense played such a huge part in this win. I mean, you look at the score 44 to 7. Yeah, no doubt the defense played a big part in this. But I think in terms of the little details of getting the Thunder in 3rd and longs or putting them in situations where you're not going to know what they're going to do, but you can predict where the ball's going to go, and you have a higher likelihood of turning the ball over.
The extra point attempt is good, and just like that, Corona del Sol on the last 2 drives have added 10 to their total. From the first half, it's now 45 to 7.
Yeah, and so now the Thunder are going to come back on offense, and 45 to 7 for them. The Thunder, the Aztecs still need to come out here and just make sure that they play good football, sound football, because you want to go into next week against Castile with having good film, good momentum, and a positivity that you can maintain this 45 to 7 deficit.
And a slight oversight on my part that we didn't mention earlier in the game. Corona del Sol still in the hunt for their first win in section. They would get that tonight if they can hold on to this. And that just, I think, proves that even with the strength of schedule and the pre-section games, if you will, with the open teams they schedule and stuff, they still have some very talented teams in their own section when you look at Mountain Point and Sal Point Catholic, Brophy as well.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at some of those losses they had this season, it wasn't just against great 6A teams. You're looking at some teams who are going to be in those 6A playoffs, and there's teams that you lost to. And so you can't just think that just because we lost to a Chandler or to a Centennial that we can just win against, not lesser 6A teams, but teams that aren't in those open divisions. So you have to go in there with the idea that you got to come prepared.
The kickoff returner still on his feet as he's finally dragged out of bounds near the 30-yard line. At least 1, maybe 2 flags came in on that play.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 4, 10 yards from the spot. First down. Number 4. First down.
And, we talked a little bit about who the Aztecs do face next, and that is going to be the Castile Colts, who are 4-4 heading into this week. 0-3 in the sectional as well, and they play Basha tonight. Not sure what the current score on that is, but that's a tough opponent for them for sure.
Looking at, they are ranked 16th in Arizona in front of Red Mountain and behind Williams Field and Horizon in the statewide rankings. In 6A, they are ranked 13, 2 spots ahead of South Point Catholic, who the Aztecs played a couple weeks ago. So will it be an easy game? By no stretch of imagination will it be. One thing that really could come into play is the home field advantage that last year Castile really took advantage of that, and they were able to come out in the second half in particular and really close the door on that game. This year, it's the last game of the season. It's senior night in front of your own crowd who is very loyal. The student section's great. We see a pretty solid turnout here tonight, even with the late start, and I think that's going to help the Aztecs out in that next game. Meanwhile, still 5 minutes to be played here in this fourth quarter, and a nice sack there by the defense of the Aztecs. I think number 23, Isaiah McKay, was the first to get to the quarterback on that one.
Yeah, great sack there for sure. Just you want to continue to bring pressure, especially if this is a team that's going to have to start looking downfield a lot. This is a great time to start tallying sacks.
And we see in the defensive secondary, a couple of other guys brought in a short pass, and staying on his feet is the receiver until he's tackled around the 20-yard line. That would be, of course, none other than one of the most called names tonight on Desert Vista's roster, Kyler Dranaski.
And that's a good sign for the Aztecs. Their secondary is holding up to the point that his only option is to throw the dump-off pass, and the Aztecs will take that all day.
Yeah, and I was going to mention Brandon Holmes is not in the game on defense right now. Kevon Thomas still is, but on the other side, it would be Amari Smallwood, who is playing at that other safety position. A timeout called now with 4:22 to go in this one.
Yeah, that'll be their first time, the Thunder's first time. I think there's a Thunder who called it. I'm not sure.
I believe so.
Yeah, so that'd be 1 timeout, 2 timeout less for the Thunder.
Oh, I think they just changed the Corona del Sol portion of the scoreboard where it says they only have 1 timeout left.
Yeah.
So maybe they did call the timeout.
Yeah, they might have called the timeout just, after that gain, just try and rally everybody back up, just remind everybody what their positions are, what their roles are in this type of defense. And I'm very much sure that Jake Barrow has trained his team, coached his team on what to do in these situations when a team has to pass the ball, what you do, how do you make sure that you don't give up the deep ball.
So in this different look secondary for the Aztecs, they'll bring in Ty Seaver, Jamie Lott as well, and Jamar Patterson, who's been a staple of this defense all year long, stays out there. Aztecs look to bring 5 this time. They bring 4, drop 1. Pressure on the quarterback who escapes. Brown tripped up at the 25, and the first time we've called this player tonight, the turf monster is back here as Brown gets tripped up.
That was Jai Jones, who we've seen a lot of action with in receiving, but also plays cornerback, and he almost was able to wrap up Brown on that.
From the shotgun again now, less than 4 minutes to go. Brown rolls out right, heaves it down the sideline, and wide open is his receiver there. A tremendous gain on that for Maxwell Sprout.
Yeah, and like we talked about, you're coached on how do you not give up the deep ball, and Maxwell Sprout was just able to get right behind his defender and had plenty of separation on him.
And that's just a learning experience for him. When you haven't been able to get those first team reps, as some of the other guys have, once in a while a play like that you're going to get burned. The lucky thing is here, 45-7, you learn by experience. A short pass this time, up the middle on his feet and down around the 10-yard line would be number 84, the tight end, Logan Arnson.
So nice run, but the clock still ticks. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the game.
Twins on the bottom. And a pass caught and on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown, Desert Vista. for who else but Barrett Reginald.
Yeah, Barrett Reginald, we've seen him a lot in the kick return game, punt return game, and getting some nice receptions. But the team's leading receiver finally able to get in the end zone and score.
We see a flag come in on this one. And it looks like it will be against Desert Vista, just by the
Down is
indication
good.
of the ref.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 15, Desert Vista, that penalty being forced on the kickoff.
I'll go on Isaac Price. But the touchdown will still stand. It'll be 13-49 right now, depending how this PAT goes.
And
flag.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense. Half the distance, retry.
Kevon Thomas tried to time the snap perfectly, and he just was a little too soon.
Little fast, a little too quick on that one. Looks like they're just deciding right now how they want to go with this, what they want to do, if they're going to stick with the PAT attempt. And they will.
Well, the kicker stays in, but yeah, that was an interesting little debate there on the field as to where they were going to go with this. And the kick is good. So that'll make it, 45-14 with 2.5 minutes to go. The Thunder strike again.
Well, 2 minutes and 33 seconds left in the game, and I'm going to be heading down here pretty soon for the post-game interview with head coach Jake Barrow and our player of the game. As always, thank you so much. It was a pleasure commentating with you. It always is.
Always a pleasure to work with you, Aaron. And you can catch those. We're a big night for Corona del Sol. We're giving them a little extra love with the player of the game honors. That it was a big win tonight. As you finish up here, I think this is just, again, I said it and I hate to repeat myself, but I think this is just one of those turning point games that going into the last week of the regular season and in what we can imagine will be a playoff berth, it's a turning point for this program that was really, you wish you got to seen it earlier on in this year, but nonetheless, it's good to see it at some point in the season rather than the season being a complete disappointment.
For sure. I think if you're any competitor, does it suck to lose? Absolutely. But any competitor would take the early losses and have the wins that matter the most, which are playoff wins, championship wins. They would take that any day of the week for sure. And if you would much rather be a team going in hot into the playoffs than a team going in cold.
And now that the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is enforced from that touchdown, Desert Vista will be kicking from their own 25 with Quentin Bradley back deep for the Aztecs, as well as, I believe, number 4, Canberra Walker, perhaps. Actually, it's number 24 who comes up and catches it on the fly, slides down about the 48-yard line with 2:27 to go. That was number 14, actually, Jamar Patterson.
It looks like their offense that's coming out with this lead, which looks like they're going to hold for sure. They're still bringing out a lot of their starters. So I think, a large part, too, that's going to be the message for Barrow in this situation is just make sure you play smart. Don't put your players in any risky situations. Don't throw any balls that are going to put your receivers in situations where they could get hurt, especially as well for Ackerley. It looks like Swearingen might be in as well.
Yes, Swearingen under center. He dumps it off quickly. Raiden Vinesbright can't hold on to that one. It'll fall incomplete. But we just mentioned Vinesbright, Zuri Glenn, Jai Jones all still out there. And with that incomplete pass, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 48 for the Aztecs, now under 2 minutes to go in this one. Screen pass this time. Raiden Vinesbright stays on his feet. No one's going to catch him. Down the sideline. Touchdown. Whistles come in on the play and flags as well back near the line of scrimmage.
What number do you have? 10 from there.
And another flag coming in.
During the play, holding offense number 60. After number 11, White, both penalties will be enforced. Replay 2nd down.
So 2 plays against the Aztecs. And they'll be backed up now inside their own 30 with the ball spotted at the 27. The clock continuing to run, though, it appears. Now under 22 seconds. As the Aztecs now seem to line up in victory formation. Crew Swearingen takes the knee. And that will do it. A statement. 45-14 win for the Aztecs when they needed it most. Their 3rd of the season and their 1st in the last 4 games. Again, 45-14 the final score here. Corona del Sol defeats Desert Vista on the road. Their last home game of the season will be next week against Castile. For our entire team, technical director Bailey, for our camera operators Jason, as well as Chris and Dante, and for my partner Aaron Decker, Paul Schultz saying good night from Desert Vista, and we'll see you next week.
Hello, friends. Vince Delicio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show.